Eastern Stela. It doesn't look particularly special. You resolve to touch it anyhow. You did great. You did great. You have found the Eastern Stela. You see the words Melody of Fortune chiseled into the corner. Stila is... You hear someone murmuring? It sounds like a man, but you can't really be sure in these woods. I need to hit the Stila every single time I want to go home. Ah, what a pain, the frowning woman sighs. You have found the southern Stila. You smack it and hear a sound off to the west. You'd best head that way next. lucky. As you listen closely, you are struck by a sudden dizzy spell. You sense a presence growing closer, but cannot read the grass rustle. Realizing you've been caught in the harpy's trap, you ready your weapons. You did great. For some time after that, you find yourself trembling at the mere sound of a bird's tweet. You've already investigated this stela. The words Melody of Fortune are rather conspicuously chiseled into the corner. You've already investigated this stela. You touch it once more, just in case. Yep, it's still a rock. Poor Mar clutches the spot, eyes tearing up from the blow. The man sighs, realizing he may never be able to escape with his current tool set. have found the western stela, which you have found all 4 of the stela in the bewildering wood. On a perhaps related note, you hear a sound emanating from the east. You examine the stela. You hold the woodland flute you received from the good doctor in Thriston. Doot, 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 doodly, doot, 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 doo. You blow a handful of pleasant enough notes into the woodland flute. You soon become aware of accompanying percussion, which reveals itself to be a series of impeccably timed footfalls racing toward you. A young woman appears before you. "That was absolutely dreadful," she whinges, her jaunty gait She calls herself Riddis and declares herself a woodlander, resident. By sheer coincidence, the flute on which you played those notes was one designed to call the woodland people to your... Stunned by your good fortune, you ask what luck. She agrees, but, she continues, extending her hand, you'll have to hand over the woodland. You hand over the flute, firmly restating that she may have it on the condition she leads you out of the bewildering wood. Riddis plucks the woodland flute out of your hands with glee and begins playing it as she skips away. Playing, Riddis makes it clear that the fastest way out of the woods is through wood. "It's that-a-way," Riddis says gleefully, pointing past the stela before you. Welcome to Woodland. Ritus says, gesturing out over the village. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm quite busy for the rest of the day. So you'll have to wait till tomorrow to leave the forest, she says, and makes her way home. Welcome to the Forest Oasis, the man greets you warmly. You happen upon a man greedily guzzling well water. Could it truly be that much better than ordinary water? Don't let it get you down. Come play again, says the boy, waving. Apparently she's heard rumors of the dragon destroy. Our village would burn down so easily, she mutters, perhaps a bit more afraid of the symptom than the cause. You learn that Ridis's family is mired in debt and living hand to mouth. We are not in the business of meddling in the personal affairs of others, Melanie says curtly, cutting her off. Ridis pores over a book while practicing on the woodland flute. She remains dreadful. The instant you begin speaking, she nearly leaps out of her skin and hides the book. I thought you were the debt collectors. You can't sneak up on me like that, she stammers, struggling to regain her composure. You take note of a woman who appears quite ill. As it turns out, she is none other than Ridis's mother. She is in no small amount of pain. Will you give her something to ease her suffering? The item you've proffered, but I appreciate the thought. Ridis's mother hands you mysterious card 3 as a token of her gratitude. She begins speaking of Ridis, who has been preparing the medicine that helps her get through the day. She blames her illness, and therefore herself, for making Ridis's life so difficult. The more she talks, the more her face drops. This shortcut is reserved for use by woodland citizens only, the guard barks, clearly unwilling to let you pass. Turns out this inn is simply a place where the poor lost souls trapped in the bewildered. The wooden dining table practically groans under the weight of the platters upon it, all brimming with meats and vegetables from the bewildering wood. I've certainly earned this. Melanie takes no note of your boorish behavior. Mar sits, eyes fixed on the food upon the table. Mar clears the entire table in a matter of seconds. He lets out a self-satisfied burp that sends a small jet of just drank water. The sun sinks low, and the day draws to a close. A scream pierces the silence. Fire! The others follow suit, and before long you've burst through. Riddis's house is ablaze, a nearby villager screams. My mother is still inside, Riddis shrieks, darting past you to fetch water from the wells south of the village. Riddis is gathering water in an attempt to fight the blaze all on her own. You toss a nearby bucket into the well and haul it up by the rope. Rather, you attempt to, but thanks to Mar robbing you of a meal, your strength fails you. Mar's eyes light up. He scrambles over the edge of the well and sucks the well dry in an instant. He pokes at his swollen belly and gestures toward Riddis's house, as if to say, "Get me back there, quick." Quickly, put it out. You have to put it out, Riddis screams at Mar. Mar douses the house with the water he sucked up from the well. The fire is reduced to mere embers, and all is well. Or so you think. Something darts out from behind the house and attacks. the enemy. The fiery beast dispatched, you returned. Ridis's mother, now safe, tells you the creature came out of nowhere, and what would bring a creature of fire to a place like this, you wonder? Light breaks on a new day, and the commotion of the fire feels but a nightmare. You lead your party to Ridis's house to ask for safe passage out of the bewildering wood. Though spared from complete collapse, Ridis's home has been thoroughly scored. Ridis sits alone in one of its rooms. The air, she says the monster appeared. As to why any monsters, despite the circumstances, you ask Ridis to... I did promise that, didn't I? She says weird. Why do you want to venture out beyond the bewildering wood anyway? She inquires, as she gathers this. We are in search of the dragon. You say Val. Sounds like a real risky way to make a living. she replied. A group of Ivory Order people came through here just the You connect the dots with malice. Those three. At last, Riddis is ready to depart for the edge of the bewildering wood. Upon seeing that Riddis is with you, he steps aside and lets you through. The eastern portion of the woods certainly does not want for thick, soupy fog. You turn away, ready to lead the party deeper into the bewilderment. Riddis appears to be familiar with him. She calls him. Here you are, young lady, he says, handing her a slip of paper. Oh dear. Further, Mr. O explains, Riddis did not have a fire insurance policy at the time of the conflagration, and so she shall have to pay. I'll thank you kindly to pay by the end of the month. Bye now. Hee hee. Riddis lets out a bemused chuckle. Her demeanor She pulls the woodland flute from her cloak and begins Riddis's ear-splitting performance, shall we say, draws monsters out from behind the trees. Within moments, they are nearly upon you. That's odd. I must have made a mistake, Riddis says. She opens the book to a particular page and thrusts it in your face. It's a page of sheet music, with a note scrawled beside it that reads, "No matter how many times I played this last night, you inspect the page a bit more carefully. Off in a corner, in letters so small as to be illegible, another message. You finally see that so long as Riddis holds the flute, this is no... You snatch the woodland flute from her hand. But I'll never escape from this mountain of debt without it, she cries. Clearly, Melanie quietly opines that while Riddis is many things, bright is not one of them.